This episode of Taproom Travelers is brought to you by Tin Whiskers Brewing Company. As promised, here we are at Tin Whiskers. I have Andy and Andy with me.
Woo!
So this is Andy the Taproom Manager, right? You're the Taproom Manager here at Tin
marketing
Whiskers?
and taproom manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, multiple hats.
Many hats.
Many hats.
Yes.
All
Lots
of the
of
hats.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, you know...
Any of them a top hat?
Not yet, no.
Ah, you need a top hat.
You need a top hat.
I will look to you to make that happen, my friend.
The base hat should be a top hat, and then you just stack hats on top of your top hat.
That's
I like
deep.
it.
Yeah.
I bet you didn't think you were going to get that kind of...
Oh, no.
yeah.
Hat commentary is important.
Hat commentary,
Yeah.
and our producer's losing his cool over there. We almost lost a computer, folks.
Drink more
Anyway,
beer,
we're
Alex.
here to talk about beer, specifically Tin Whiskers beer, of
Awesome.
course. Yeah. So what's new here? I know it's been a while since we've done anything with you, like a video with you guys.
like
It's
2 or
been-
3 years.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, it's been a while.
bit. There's a lot new. We recently, over the last 3 weeks or so, installed 8 more tap lines. So now
That's
we have
awesome.
16 tap lines.
Yeah.
Plus a cask engine. There's always new stuff rolling out. We started a new program called Feature Friday,
Oh.
where every Friday we put out a new beer.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a cask. Sometimes it's an infusion. Sometimes it's a whole brand new batch of beer.
Very
that
cool.
has been really, really fun for our regulars and for our brew team to constantly figure out what we want to be putting out.
Sure.
But part of putting in, 8 more tap lines was making sure that we're constantly feeding that and constantly
yeah.
putting out new and exciting products. So it's been a fun, like I said, that's just the last 3 weeks. That's been a really
That's
cool
crazy.
journey already, and we're really excited. It's been great. Yeah.
And you had to do that during the state fair.
Oh, yeah.
All the craziness of the state fair going on, too, you know?
oh yeah.
Yeah, so...
And then again, as Landon said, we haven't been here for a while, and I think you've added a barrel program since we've last been here.
Of course. Yeah, we got 12 different barrels here. We've got some tequila barrels, some rye whiskey barrels, some bourbon barrels, constantly sitting with stuff in them. And
Awesome.
excited to pull those out from time to time and have fun. Yeah.
So we'll go back to maybe the craziness of the state fair. So your state fair beer this year was a dill Kolsch.
Correct.
right?
Yeah, we produced the dill pickle Kolsch for Giggles up on the northern end of the state fair. That was a first time experience for us. We've had beer at the fair before,
Right.
but never a state fair exclusive product, which clearly are the ones that get a lot of attention. People
Right.
like drinking any beers at the fair, but
Sure.
those ones that are new and a little fun sounding definitely pick up a lot more. So yeah, we produced right around 200 or so kegs of dill pickle Kolsch for Giggles, and they sold out of every drop of it. Which
2 million people at the fair this year,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I can't tell you how many posts I saw on social media about Tin Whiskers dill pickle Kolsch. So-
we loved seeing it. It was
Yeah.
so fun. As the marketing manager, it was so fun to see those come in and get to reshare those of people, strolling around the fair
You're
with
just
their
sitting back
the
there
nice
like,
glass.
people are doing my job for me.
Yes,
It is
thank you.
perfect. Yes, please continue to do that. It's so nice. But yeah, it was a wonderful experience
Great.
that we hope to be able to continue to do
Yeah.
going forward here, because it was a real blast for us. Yeah,
Awesome.
most definitely.
And I know you guys have been doing a lot of infusion type beers lately.
Yeah.
So I've seen. I looked over in your cooler before we started this.
Yeah.
So do you bottle some of those infusion
We
beers
bottled
too?
some of them. So before we installed the 8 more tap lines, that was kind of where the infusion program had to go, was towards our 750 milliliter bottling program, just because we didn't have the tap space for all of these fun new infusions that our brew team was putting out.
Right.
Now we're hoping to kind of transition that back a little bit more towards tap. Maybe we'll have it available in both formats, because people want to try it and then also be able to take it home, of course,
Sure.
which is great. But yeah, it's the infusion program is something we started pretty quick after we opened, so it's been going about 3.5 years now. We're 4 years old, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
But it's a program that is fun for our brewers to get to sort of look at the products that they're producing and then find small ways to tinker with them.
Sure.
And sometimes those are really subtle infusions, and sometimes it's fun to go in a wholly different direction and throw everything you possibly can in there and see what comes from it. So
I saw mango, and I think I've seen jalapeno before.
Oh yeah, the jalapeno wheatstone is definitely one of our most popular ones.
Sure.
Sounds
and we've had
delicious.
a lot of beers actually grow from that program into becoming full-on either seasonal rotations or a member of what we call the Spark series. The Spark series is our limited run canning series.
Okay.
So we'll just do one run of like 200, 250 cases, and then once they're gone, they're gone. And we had the Irish Cream Stout. That was the big one. So that came out right around St. Patrick's Day this year.
Oh, yeah.
That started as a taproom infusion. It was just our short circuit stout with all the flavors of Irish cream in it. So almond and coffee and vanilla and other things. And we got to can that for the first time. And we did the same thing with our Mexican Punch Wheatstone. And we've got another one coming up in a little bit here that we're really excited about, coming out in October too. We'll be partnering with Pearson's St. Paul
chocolates.
Yeah, St. Paul landmark, real candy company here. We're working with them to produce a Nut Goody porter. So if you're familiar with if you're familiar with a Nut Goody bar, they're delicious. So it's going to be a porter with chocolate and peanut butter and maple in it.
Oh my gosh.
Co-branded, so the can's going to look like a Nut Goody bar. We're really excited about it.
That's cool. You can use their marketing too and everything like that.
Oh my gosh, it's been so fun. And even just talking with them about, when we're looking to get chocolate and peanut butter and maple, just having that conversation with someone who uses that more often than we do.
Right.
You get to learn a lot more about the ingredients that you're using, which is super cool. I mean, we pride ourselves as being beer nerds, but it's cool to talk to, candy nerds and chocolate nerds and learn a lot about those products in a way we wouldn't have otherwise. So the infusion program's great. It really allows us to try out new things that have become, wildly successful in some of the most sought after Tin Whiskers products. So it's been really
great.
Cool. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Definitely.
If my wife watches this, there's no way that we're going to miss. We'll be over here several times probably.
You're going to have to steal beer for my fiance and us as well.
We are deeply looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And I've tried, you guys have a peanut butter beer now. That wasn't...
Yeah, that's on tap right now.
Yeah, and I love that one too.
Oh, we're glad to hear it. Yeah, it's a peanut butter brown ale.
Yeah.
We wanted to do something a little bit... You see a lot of peanut butter stouts and stuff like that. We wanted to take it in a little different direction.
Right.
We thought, well, hey, your classic brown ale's got a nice nutty, roasty quality to it. And we dumped a lot of real peanut butter. We didn't use powdered peanut butter or anything like that. We used actual peanut butter. We wanted that rich, kind of creamy flavor in there. And I think it turned out pretty nice.
Yeah, I thought
it's a very different beer, but I think it's real tasty. It's been a big taproom hit, and that's been fun to play with infusion-wise as well. They did a sort of Elvis-style, like banana chocolate one that was really nice. But yeah, it's a fun different beer. That's, like I said, I hate to keep going back to like more tap lines, but it's been just so entertaining to watch what it's like now that we have that space to see what the brew team can put together.
But that's part of the fun going to not just Tin Whiskers, to go into any tap room. There's a lot of things that you see that you can't get in a can or a bottle or somewhere else.
Definitely, nobody wants to go to a tap room and say, "Hey, I've seen every one of those products on a liquor store shelf."
Right.
Like, you go there and you want to see something
when
unique.
I can buy it cheaper down the road and the cooler.
Right?
Yeah, we all, we like to tout our experience and our bartenders and our space as being great, and we hope that that's all true.
Yeah.
But you also want product. You want a product that's unique to your tap room or your experience. So, yeah, it's cool. We've tried to focus on putting out just a 15-barrel batch of something that's only for the tap room every month. So the peanut butter brown ale came out of that. And it's been fun to play with those.
Right.
Sure. We do some fun, kind of out there ones like that. We do some more standard ones. We did a West Coast IPA a few months back that then got so popular that we ended up having to can it, which when I say having to can it is clearly like a great thing. And that'll be coming back in cans again this fall because it was so popular. And we've got an alt that we're in talks of putting out hopefully within the next month or so. I think that's getting brewed in the coming weeks, as well as we're going to take our first step into a sour program.
Oh, hey.
As again, starting as taproom only, but kicking around some Berliners and seeing what we can kick out would be really fun.
You said kettle sour for that, right?
Yeah, kettle souring. Which makes the most sense for our very
play
small,
with fire
very
too
tight knit
much.
space. But we've never done that before, so it's fun. 4 years in to say, what else can we still challenge ourselves with?
Oh, absolutely.
And really run at it. Where we don't want to just kind of tiptoe into it. That's not what we're doing.
Sit back and just kind of let it ride. You want to you want to stay at the forefront. Absolutely.
Definitely.
That's
always innovating. That's how you stay. On the forefront and everything like that.
When we came into downtown St. Paul, we were the only production brewery in downtown.
Right.
And by the end of this year, early next year, there's going to be 5 of us, I think.
Wow.
So you got to keep doing new stuff. That's what people are looking for. Yeah.
That's great. So what else is new? I know we talked about, all the new beers and everything, and I think since the last time that we were here, you guys put in a garage door. I know that's not relatively new.
No, yeah, we put that in right around our 1-year anniversary. So we've had it for about 3 years now. But it's a great alternative. As the marketing guy, I like to talk about it as St. Paul's best indoor patio.
Sure.
Which I know is sort of like a tongue-in-cheek thing. But also on a nice day, when you crank that garage door open, you get a beautiful breeze coming through this whole space.
Sure.
It really does sort of feel like a patio.
Today's one of those days.
Yeah. And especially, I love it on like a rainy day because the garage door is situated in a way where the rain doesn't really come in at all.
Right. Yeah.
So sometimes those best kind of cool breezes are on those rainy days.
Still get all that fresh air coming in.
We get to open it up, and you get all of that beautiful air coming in without getting wet. It's kind of perfect. So we did that, and then we also this year, kind of because of the garage door, we invested in some new high top tables and some seating that are centered around those. We noticed that on beautiful days, people were definitely conglomerating around that garage door.
Yeah.
So we wanted to give them new varieties of ways to sit and kind of ways to interact with that in a fun way. So yeah, we brought in some new locally made high top tables, which is great. Yeah, on a breezy day, there's nothing like sitting at one of those and having a nice pint or two of beer.
Oh, I agree.
So yeah, that's new. We also earlier this year we kicked off a new program called the Robot Collective that I'm really excited about. It is a kind of member program / mug club with a couple different levels, and they all come with a ton of benefits. So at the higher level, you can get everything up, including like a free beer every single day. You get all of your pints become a nice 20-ounce mug instead of a pint, instead of a 16-ounce pint.
Right.
You get to rent out the tap room once a year at no cost to you, and you get to brew on our pilot system with us. So you actually get to come back into the brewery and make a beer with us, and then we schedule a time to release it. We actually have our first one of those is coming out tomorrow with a Robot Collective member.
Awesome.
And I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
And then at the lower level, you still get you don't get a free beer and you don't get to brew with us, but you still get 20-ounce pours. There's still like free T-shirts for everyone. We invited all of our members got to come to our anniversary party an hour early. We got some treats for them, and they got to sample all of the exclusive beers that were getting released like hourly throughout the day. We put them all on tap for them, and we're using everything from that program just for taproom improvements.
Okay.
So instead of doing like a Kickstarter or something like that, we thought, well, hey, let's turn to our real loyal customers, and let's say like we want to bring you into this, we want to involve you in the brewing process and things like that. So that's how we got the new tap lines, was through that program.
Awesome.
How we got the new high top seating was through that program. So we're always looking, it's been a cool program to get started and to get to know those members even better than we already had. It's crazy exciting. It's
really coming up with new ways to to get new things around here. I mean, you're not seeing that, at least I haven't seen it anywhere else. So that's and to get people involved like that, that's got to be amazing.
And that was the big part as I was looking to design that program. Like I didn't want it to feel like it was a program that was just styled after give us money we can put in new tap lines. So really the point was, we want to bring you into the fold. We want you to feel you're here. I mean, a lot of these members have already been in here 2-3 times a week for 4 years.
Right.
We want you to feel like you're a member of this brewery. That was really the driving force of it.
Give back program that also benefits you.
And
I think it's a give back program first, and then the benefits are second.
Yeah,
that's part of craft beer anyway. It's community.
Yep.
Involving people and having them. Rather than, some of these bigger beers where it's just, drink my beer. I could care less what happens to you, and who cares if you come into my place. But,
personal connections and everything.
Personal
like
connections.
Yeah, it's great. And that's why that hour before our anniversary party back in June was so much fun, where we just got to walk around and talk to everybody. And
absolutely.
I mean, clearly, thank them in person and say, we had, at that point, we'd already ordered the tap line, so we get to tell them that, that was something that we were already, turning around their member fees into something. But just to get to talk to them and say, for the ones that we already knew really, really well, to just say thank you. And for the ones who maybe they came in and we weren't really aware that they would become a program member, just to say, obviously thanks, but also kind of learn more about them and learn why they joined, what they were excited about. Always to get a little idea as to what they wanted to brew on our system, because that's, to me, super exciting to get customers back there producing beer.
So what is the first beer that you said?
So it's coming out tomorrow. It's a porter with chocolate, cherry, and almond.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And we've got only about 2 kegs. We've got a single barrel system. So we've got 2 kegs of that coming out tomorrow. It'll be really fun.
Cool.
Sure.
So yeah, is there any other beers you want to talk about or anything? We're kind of running out of time.
We talked about the Spark Series Nut Goodie. That's the really big one. Coming out in September. We have to mention our Shotki Pumpkin Ale.
Oh, geez, I'm glad you remembered because that's one of my favorites.
Our most popular seasonal product is the Shotki Pumpkin.
Yeah.
So that'll be coming out. It's actually in cans already right now.
Great.
And then it'll be coming out on tap here next week. So September. Whatever date that is. I'm terrible at dates.
Yeah, it's fine.
But it'll be on tap starting in September, both on CO2 and on Nitro this year, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
We've got our Oktoberfest. It's the Funkin' Fest is coming back out again this year. We're throwing a big party for that. We've got cool Steins coming in.
Yeah.
Those are the big one, like early fall ones, and then as we get towards later fall and early winter, we've definitely got some ideas kicking around for some fun stouts and fun other
that
seasonal
kettle
products.
sour you mentioned earlier.
Kettle sour, yeah. And then just doing some kind of not necessarily stouts, but some maltier dark stuff that isn't quite as heavy as well.
Sure.
Yeah, like I said, we sit down now and we get to look at those 16 taps and say, well, what do we want to make? We get the opportunity to just make fun, different stuff now.
That's awesome.
Those are the best meetings right now. We're figuring out what do we want to see in November.
Yeah.
And we have a double IPA coming out in November too that I should mention.
For all
as
you
well.
hopheads,
Yeah.
I love that.
So you'll probably
that'll be
sell
really,
out of
really
that
nice.
in like 5 days or something like that.
Knock on, we'll hope that happens. We'll see about that. But
alrighty, so if you like this video, come and check out Tin Whiskers, of course, in St. Paul.
Yeah, definitely.
Say hi to Andy while you're here. This Andy, not me, Andy. This Andy.
If you see him, I'm sure
you can try.
I'll say hi to you too,
beers,
but he's the more important Andy here.
Yeah. Come and say hi to Andy.
Yeah, we'd love to see you.
And say the Taproom Travelers sent you. Alex is telling me we're going to take a break and do a tasting later. So, but if you're watching already and you like what you see, comment under the table, and then come into Tin Whiskers because they'd love to see you and drink some great beer.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks for being with us, Andy.
Thank you
it.
so much for coming in and for having me chat with you. It's been a blast.
It's been great.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. And we're back. And we found Troy, I guess.
Yeah.
Troy drinks beer, and so we thought we'd bring him in here to drink some beer with us.
Not only do I drink beer, but I like to think I drink it well.
You drink beer well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm good at drinking beers.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
not good at much else.
These are 4 of the staples of Tin Whiskers.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll start on the lighter end. And we'll go with the Wheatstone Bridge.
Yeah. This is their wheat beer made with chamomile tea.
And honey.
And honey. Yeah. It
sounds delightful. And I've had it before, and I know it's delightful. So
I think we've all had it before at some point or another.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, that's refreshing. There's like a whole subculture of adding tea to beer. A lot of breweries are doing it. I think it's a fun thing to do. Tea goes well with beer.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find the right balance, and I think they've done that here.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, you can smell a lot of the chamomile on the nose.
Right.
I'm not a tea expert.
And then
nor
the honey
will
just helps it go down.
Right.
A little sweeter, yeah. It's a good crushing beer. I could.
Oh yeah, you can absolutely drink more than one of those. And then Alex thinks he needs some beer too.
Yeah.
Alex is manic right now behind the computer, so
it's like
as long as the computer doesn't
Alex
fall
needs
over,
his
I think
libations.
this will be an accomplishment.
Yeah, but Tin Whiskers, guys, what a brewery, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I'm sure you covered all this.
I love this. Yes, we did.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
The
weren't
other
here for
guy
that,
meaning
but yes,
Andy.
we did.
I wasn't here for that.
Yeah.
But we might as well do some IPA.
Well, Flip Switch IPA. So this is one of their original beers too.
It most certainly is.
And they just switched back to their original homebrew recipe.
Yeah, and it's they were kind of labeling it as a Midwest IPA, which is a more malt-forward IPA.
Right.
What was more popular, let's say, 20 years ago. But it's always fun when you find a brewery who's doing it well.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
Which I think, Troy, your theory was the Midwest IPA.
Troy's going to spill it on him.
Yep.
Good
Midwest
job.
IPA used to be the East Coast IPA.
It's not a theory, it's factual knowledge, Andy.
So, all right. Well, we'll go on Troy fact here. But
even
the East Coast IPA used to be
people.
Yeah. So the Midwest IPA used to be the East Coast IPA, but now the East Coast IPA has your hazy IPAs.
So essentially when IPAs moved over from England,
right,
an English IPA is a nice malt-forward beer, and then you switched out that English ale yeast for American ale yeast. You keep that malt balance. That kind of became the original East Coast IPA. But ever since the onslaught of hazy IPAs, what was considered East Coast has now been pushed into the Midwest.
Yeah.
I don't know who decides these things. There's an IPA master out there. So I'm not. God.
You know, I would say still for that being what you call a Midwest IPA, still pretty hoppy.
Mm-hmm. But there's a nice little.
There is
I don't know
a nice
if it is
malt
biscuit malt,
in
but
it.
there's like a bready malt.
Kind of holds. It's the backbone of the beer,
right.
really. And the fun part about it is, like a Midwest IPA, you're going to get that balance. You're not going to get a pure citrus or a pure like grapefruit beer or a pure like earthy beer. You're kind of getting a blend of hops, pure pine.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of pine, a little bit of citrus. You get a little bit of earthiness in there. It's kind of a well-balanced use of hops.
I agree.
And earthiness probably comes from the malt, if anything, but sweetness, if you will.
And to be honest, I don't remember what it tasted like when I had it before, but I still like it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
sorry, world.
It's fantastic.
My memory's not that great.
Yeah. So speaking of IPAs, this is now their Spark Series IPA, which is new to us at least. Mm-hmm. It's called Nebula.
Yep. He described it as a transition beer into the hazies.
Yeah.
And it's a partial hazy.
And he discussed that with us
not
on the
hazy
in first
color,
part.
but
a little haze, but it's still pretty relatively clear.
It's kind of an interesting place to talk about hazy IPAs. They're more just an aggressive version of citrus. Right? So I'm expecting citrus. We'll see.
So instead of a hazy IPA, would you call this a juicy IPA?
Wow.
Boy, I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you all out there. I'm not all that well versed in the IPA world.
I went. Alex is giving us the pinchers back there, going like this.
He wants some. He wants some bad.
Oh, really? That's what that means.
Yeah.
I would say the
gotta have it. I want to have it.
The interesting part of that beer, it almost has a bit of a weed flavor to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Landon's like, I have no idea.
I wouldn't. I don't think I would say that. For those of you out there that have had the Hemperor, that doesn't taste anything like that.
So I get a little weed flavor on that one, to be honest with you.
I would say wheat.
Alex agrees with me, and Alex obviously likes the weeds.
Yeah, Alex is the foremost expert.
If you guys all saw Alex, you'd be like,
but apparently
like
everybody liked it because that's the least that we have left of all of the beers, other than the last one that we haven't tried yet.
Right.
So Nebula, I think that is, I would say, it's just as hoppy, but they're using a different hop in it.
Yeah,
it's not as what I would say pungent or
After
punchy.
trying it, I would say it's a little bit more resiny than a juicy hop bomb. It's more
stringent.
Yeah, just a little bit, not overly like
no.
You're just
very
gonna,
pleasant
like,
amount of
pucker
stringent.
Up,
Yeah. I would think the fun part about IPAs is that hops are much like grapes. Like everyone makes a Pinot Noir, but it's just how you use the grapes in that Pinot.
Sure.
There's a lot of hop varietals out there, so it's kind of fun to see how a brewery can take the same hops that every other brewery uses and blends them their own way and gets their own flavors out of it for a kind of a fun beer.
Well, now we're going to take a completely 90-degree turn and do a coffee stout.
Yes.
This is more my.
That's more Landon speed.
A tiny circuit stout is what this is called. It's made with tiny footprint coffee.
Oh yeah. Coffees. You got to put the coffees in the beer. I'm not a coffee drinker, so.
And we had talked.
We're not going to be
coffee
experts
beers
here
before, but that has got a nice roasty, not overly done, and in a stout. So
nice full body roasty beer. If you were ever in the mood for a coffee stout, that would probably be the way to go.
Actually, if you're just in mood for a coffee, but you like alcohol in your coffee and you don't have any booze in the house.
I'm the kind of guy.
That's it.
When all the people are drinking mimosas, I'm sitting there crushing a coffee stout because it's still a breakfast beer.
Right.
And I don't want a mimosa because who wants the sugar, right?
Yeah. Got to watch your sugars.
Yeah, I got to watch the sugars.
Got to watch the sugars.
Yeah.
So, and granted, those are just 4 beers of what they had. And like Andy had told us, they've got 16 on tap now.
Something
16
like that,
lines.
Yeah. I didn't catch it quite.
They just added 8 more. And so that board up there, and you can't see it from where you guys are, but that board today is fantastic. So
yeah.
And it's going to get better in the next couple of weeks with the Shock Tea Pumpkin and their Oktoberfest, and then eventually their Kettle Sour. So,
and let's not forget the candy bar beer.
Right.
I tried the peanut butter brown a few minutes ago. Fantastic. So
Andy can't have it. Nut allergy.
Yeah.
He'll die.
He'll die.
I won't die.
Or just get really itchy.
Yes.
And then die.
Very itchy.
And then die.
Maybe break out in hives. Won't die. Won't die, can't die.
Okay. You won't die, can't die.
So yeah,
So
Tin Whiskers.
anyway, Tin Whiskers, it's a fantastic place.
A place
and really,
with stuff.
And I know that we've been here before, and we're maybe kind of biased to Tin Whiskers, but honestly, if you're near St. Paul, if you're driving on 94 and you're going to Minneapolis and you think, maybe I could go for a beer before I get to the craziness of Minneapolis, perfect place to stop because it's just off of 94 and you can get right back on again.
And maybe we might be a little bit biased, but we're biased for a good reason because we all enjoy good beer.
I would say,
and they have good beer here.
I would say that trusting us is a pretty good way to go. We've been to a lot of breweries. We've tried a lot of beer.
And we've even been to some not so great, I won't say bad, even not so great, and we're not going to mention what those places are.
No.
But trust us, if we're doing a video about it, it's a good beer. And it's a great place to go.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we could talk about the science part of this all day because I mean, just if you just look at the flight board that they have, it's
there's
an
an actual
circuit
board
that's inside of it. Yeah, we could show you that.
Science here,
there you go.
I guess?
They love science.
Yeah.
So that's part of the fun of the tap room, of course, too. So come down to St. Paul, come over to St. Paul, up to St. Paul, wherever the heck you are, and you're watching
around to St. Paul.
Around to St. Paul, if you feel like burning gas. Yeah, and you never know. Maybe you'll run into us here. Not that we're here all the time, but sporadically we are.
Mm-hmm. Every now and then.
Unless you guys have anything else, I think that pretty much sums up our.
I like the windows in the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of natural light.
A lot of
it
natural
is nice.
light.
Yeah.
Well, that's all, folks.
Anyway, from all of us at Taproom Travelers, from all of the people that are behind the camera, and of course from all the people that aren't here.
Yep.
We'll see you next week. Prost, everybody.
Cheers.
Tin Whiskers Brewing Company in St. Paul, Minnesota is on a mission to make technically excellent beers. It's the perfect place for beer nerds and non-nerds alike. Their beer is available in their tap room, liquor stores, and restaurants around the Twin Cities.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, you can click down below where there's some more episodes for you to watch. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on episodes that you do watch. We hope to see you next time.